Hello, everybody. I'm Professor Pixel here once again on Madmen with a Box. Joined with, as always, OZChris.
I'm here. I spent $100 on this.
You spent $100 on that?
No, under 100. Under 100 on this. Celestial Toymaker vinyl. I don't have anything to play it.
Just go buy a.
Can I put it in my PlayStation? Just
Try
it in there.
Please make a video. Try that, please.
No, I don't want to break that. I just spent hundreds of dollars to get it fixed. I'm not gonna break it again.
That's fair. So yes, we're back. Madmen with a Box live, episode 71, and we have some news to talk about. Some more news. I know Chris did an update video. I was supposed to have a video before that, but my soul was being crushed by capitalism. Now, shall we go ahead and just get right into it, right into the news?
Yeah, we have so much to talk about.
So much to talk about. I'm going to wait for a little bit to talk about the banner of the universe, the WHONIVERSE, as it were, because we might get a couple more people stepping in. But let's go ahead and talk first about something that I've been excited for, the Target novelizations, which they've gone ahead and they said that they're going to be posting them the Thursday after they premiere on as an ebook, and then in January you can expect to see each of them. Nice.
Very nice.
Good, don't they? Like, it has the style that they've been going for in the modern ones, which I really do enjoy. I enjoy it more than most of the classic ones, I'm not going to lie.
I dare you. You're a Doctor Who fan.
I'm sorry, but there's just something nice about those covers. And these have that while having that blue background that stands out. It's going to be great.
I like that. I like the added touch of the blue background to differentiate between the ones we've gotten recently. Speaking of, my copy of Waters of Mars should be arriving soon.
Epic. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I haven't pre-ordered these yet. Have you?
No, not yet. I was waiting. I think I was waiting for the cover reveal before I decided.
Well, now you know.
I know what they look like.
So are you ready to buy an adaptation of an adaptation
of an adaptation?
Wait, no.
Literally, is the Star Beast going to be the new Shadow?
Oh, it always was. They say never judge a book by its cover. Well, in my case, I'm afraid it's a bit too late for that. I'm excited. Very excited. Moving on. Next. Very exciting as well. They are going to be releasing the Daleks in color. Yes, the first ever Doctor Who story. There's no other one. I was just
about to make that joke.
So sorry.
The first ever Doctor Who story. Don't worry. There's definitely not two versions of a previous story.
Tribe of Gum? What's that?
What's that? Something about a child?
No, this is actually very thrilling. It's going to be, I believe they said 75 minutes. Read more here. Why can't you just put it in the post? It's going to be about 75 minutes, so it's cut down. But apparently there's going to be some new scenes in it. I kind of just glanced through Doctor Who magazine. I got access to it today. So I didn't see him say anything about writing new scenes for the Daleks colorization. But what can we expect? What can we see coming that he would go ahead and write something new for?
I've no idea. As people are theorizing here, big new Dalek speech, lore explanation, how Dead Planet Genesis connects to it, add an exterminate, novelize the Glass Dalek or Comic Emperor.
Yeah, maybe.
I think a Genesis connection would be neat.
Unless it's to connect it to Liberation of the Daleks, which ended like an ending. It
ended.
So yeah. So if you don't want spoilers, go ahead and like earmuffs.
No one cares about Liberation of the Daleks.
Yeah, it's hard to. There's a lot of fun in it. It's a very fun story. A lot of connections to classic Dalek media. That's thrilling. I like seeing that. But its story is kind of, the concepts are neat, but it doesn't really deliver. It was fun, but it was fluff, and it doesn't have a direct tie-in. In this last issue, they literally brought back the 13th Doctor's sonic screwdriver just to destroy it again.
Why?
Well, he used it to defeat 9 other Dalek Emperors, but that's another story. Yeah. I don't know.
This should be good. Daleks colorization.
And speaking of returning to your screen, other than the Daleks, it is Landry Q. Walker.
Welcome. I have no camera. Why do I have no camera? Oh, wait. There we go.
There we go. Welcome
back.
I still have no sound.
Oh, we hear you.
Had this happen before. I had a problem.
Typical Pixel gets told, I can't hear you. Responds to them anyway.
Or kick me out, and I'm going to try this again. Are we live?
Okay.
Yes. It's
fine. It's fine. Tell me when you can. Give me a thumbs up when you can hear, or use the private chat. Daleks. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's
now. Will this be accessible to everyone? Is this going to be like a physical media release? I would assume so.
You're making me pull up the article. How dare you?
Yeah. Do your research.
No, I prefer to go in blind.
It's me, GPZ says, surprised they didn't drag Nick Briggs back to do the voices. I'm surprised. Yeah, honestly.
Well, he's going to be doing the new one. The Daleks.
Watch on BBC 4.
BBC 4.
Oh, really?
So we're doomed, guys.
We're doomed.
Doomsday?
Honestly. Please don't. Please don't remind me of Doomsday.
I don't have to remind you of Doomsday. They didn't remember Doomsday.
Crime is always an option. Okay, now here's the thing, because I got a comment on this when I did my video about the WHONIVERSE. Where someone replied, just get a VPN. Now the thing is, Doctor Who used to be very accessible. At least when it comes to the show. Like I could watch classic, and I could watch New Who whenever I wanted with just a site. I didn't have to pay.
Is that a point?
I didn't have to pay like extra to get these things. And this whole new era, it's the anniversary. And the fact that aside from just the show itself, they're restricting everything else just to the UK. It's like this is a big celebration for everyone. Shouldn't like everyone have this?
Yeah, Tales of the TARDIS.
Tales of the TARDIS is a mixed one because that's more about the licensing fee. So that has to be restricted. But like everything else, like VPN should not be always the go-to option. And I say if I'm going to use a VPN, I want to use it for multiple things, not just that one thing. I'm not going to use it just for Doctor Who. Like I have Disney Plus. I use it for stuff, but I'm not the only one that uses it. my family also uses it, so we're sharing it. If it was just me using it for just one thing, for me, that would be a waste of my money.
I mean, we pay for, we have BritBox that has Classic Who for us Americans. And then we have...
I used to have BritBox. It's not here anymore. Doctor Who's not on it anymore.
That's because you're from Australia.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's ridiculous. I didn't know that. This is all new.
All news, all the time.
I'm just.
Sean asked, "Do we know what Doctor Who is going to be on Disney Plus for the rest of the world?" It's just so far the 60th, as far as we know, the 60th anniversary and the Christmas specials.
Onward.
The assumption being that Series 14 or Series 1 or Season 1 that they're calling it is also
it's going
to be on it.
So
it's going to be the main show
right now from ongoing. I don't understand. Maybe they still have to let the stupid HBO Max license run out. Maybe that's why they can't bring the rest of these past seasons. Froggy, stop. The thing is with Classic Who, I don't know. It's on BritBox for us, but the rest of the world can't seem to access it at all.
No.
It's insane.
I have to either buy the collections or go on eBay and buy the older DVDs or Daily Motion, watch it on 144p.
Yeah, I feel like there's certain things that especially RTD would want the rest of the world to have it as well, but I think it's just licensing. The UK was easy to handle. It's a UK property. But for the rest of the world, they're still sorting it out. It's not going to be on Disney Plus in the UK either, which is weird.
I think that's because it's already on iPlayer. So I feel like that might have been a stipulation from BBC's like, we don't want competition in our own country. So they just decided we will have it on iPlayer. Everyone else can have it on Disney Plus.
Landry, hello.
Hello.
We're talking about the Daleks.
I heard about the Daleks.
Yes,
I'm out of the loop.
Well, we're going to bring you back into it as we're trying to get back. We've been gone for the past 2 weeks.
To catch you up, Landry.
This all sounds great, but why are they colorizing? It doesn't need color. Black and white is fine.
What are you talking about, Landry? It's now the first ever Doctor Who episode. So,
did you hear about that?
I think I heard something about that one.
Did you hear about the tribe of Gum?
No, I know nothing anymore. I've been nothing since the last time I talked to you guys.
So basically, a recap for everybody. The first ever Doctor Who story, an unearthly child. The writer's son.
Oh, I did hear about this. Yes.
The writer's son
nothing. Yeah.
He had a big stink saying that I'm not letting the BBC get away with this, mistreating me. He's a petty bitch who he's the Nepo baby. We've gone over this. Yeah. Nepo baby.
Well, I mean, I can watch it anytime is all I'm going to say. You can't take that away from me. So
you can watch the Tribe of Gum, as he likes to call it, anytime.
Never going to call it that.
No, it's one of the worst names ever.
Yeah, try and stop me, Steph. Look at this. Try and stop me now.
Boom. That doesn't see gum anywhere on there. Just child. Yeah.
So, one more thing to talk about the colorization. It's going to be kind of cut to be a 75-minute story special. And it's going to apparently have a couple new scenes spliced in, written by RTD. At least that's what it says in this tweet.
Listen, from a creative standpoint, I think this is brilliant. I hope they give it, if they're going to do it, I hope they go all the way with it. Give it a modern soundtrack. Although that said, I recently thought of the perfect classic soundtrack if you want to update the soundtrack. All right, I'm going on a tangent here. It'll make no sense, but very early Pink Floyd should have been used as Doctor Who soundtracks in the 1960s.
Pink Floyd? What?
Do you know what the Pink Floyd Doctor Who connection?
Like minor details.
That the band was obsessed with the Doctor Who theme, and they were trying to find out how it was made, and they showed up at the BBC to try to find out the secrets. And a lot of their music was inspired, and their early music had inspirational points from the Doctor Who theme, and you can hear it in this music if you listen to it in several tracks.
I did not know that.
Did not know that. Now I have to listen.
Listen to 2 songs. Listen to Astronomy Domini, and I'm forgetting the name of the other track. And just imagine that if it was being played in 1960s Doctor Who soundtrack. Astronomy Domini, and let me get the name of the other track because they are perfect Doctor Who. I cannot remember the name. Of course, I had it here. Anyway, you get the idea.
That's very neat though. Now I'm gonna have to check that out. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I love Daleks. It's no secret. They're my favorite Doctor Who monster. They're enemy. They're so basic, but that's perfect. What? Why are you like this, Frog? Moving on from this, let's go look at a poster. A poster's neat. It's a very nice poster.
Whoa, I had not seen this.
Yes. They're really ramping it up because now they can announce the dates. But yeah, this is the new poster for the 60th. And
Adam Hart Mother. Sorry. That's the name
song.
of the other one. Adam Hart Mother. Yeah. Go on. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just kind of distracted by the face in that TV right there. Doesn't he look beautiful? Isn't he great? Pretty princess. The thing is, I don't know what the background is, but that does look like a blonde wig on there. And if anybody has seen Dark Shadows, looks like a puppet version of Carolyn. It's like, oh no, why would you do that? But this goes ahead and it also brings up the 50th to go ahead and just compare it because I haven't seen the 50th in some time. Yes, that was a nice poster, but this one's better.
The first one is this. The 50th is pretty basic. The 60th is art.
Yes. Well, the 50th could be afford to be pretty basic because it was a multi-doctor story first off, and then this one is just this one is Tintin. This one has to lure you back in. Yes, it's time.
The retro logo combined with David Tennant's return. I mean, right there.
Beep the
recognizable meat. Actor is very large on the left, and then just a overall weirdness. Yeah, but no one outside of such a small group are going to know what the meat is. That's
we
not.
All want Beep the Meat.
This many people,
very small people.
As somebody who was reading those comics when they were new, even I was like, hey, that's cool. Sorry.
No. Speaking of Beep the Meat. They recently had a screening for journalists and people involved with production and Doctor Who overall, a screening of the Star Beast. And at that premiere party, they had Beep the Meat, that little statue, being guarded by a unit soldier. It's very nice.
Brilliant.
Beautiful. And we know units heavily involved, so it makes sense. Next, BBC iPlayer. For a while, under New Who, they had 2005 through 2022, and it made everybody think that season 1, as they are calling the new production, was really a reboot, but they removed it. But now, apparently in SFX magazine, he said they're referring to it as season 1. So I don't know.
That's what RTD said. Series 14 is season 1.
It's a relaunch again.
It's essentially it's a soft relaunch.
Well,
that'd be fine with if it wasn't called season 1, because now we have 2 season 1s.
3, right? Technically,
no,
I mean,
technically with series, that's series 1.
They referred to it as series with the second run, and now the third one. They're going back.
Word. Chapter, volume.
No, that would be bad. That'd be very bad.
Would it though?
Yes. Speaking of that carpet event, I should have had it in a better order. Here are some of the people that were at the blue carpet event for the Star Beast, as it were. I wish I could. Look at my boy. Look at Jimmy's favorite right there on the right. He's so happy.
Jimmy's favorite doctor.
That's right.
Number 6, Colin Baker, and Sylvester with his Pandorica vest, as always. He's always got that vest on.
That's a very cool vest, isn't it?
It is.
Oh my god, I want it. And then
Ruth Madeley.
Thank you. I was about to say Rachel Talalay, and I was like, no, that's not right.
It's not Rachel Talalay.
No, that's not. But no, she's there as well, and she's going to be in the specials. So she's here. Here we have some more today.
Yeah, production team with some cast members. It's so interesting seeing the OG production team just back for this.
We're back, guys.
It's so nostalgic.
Ooh la la. We're outside. Let us
listen. What I would give to be at that premiere.
I know.
I would love to be there.
So exciting. They also had these plushies. So we've all seen in the trailer. Well, maybe Landry's seen them. Maybe he didn't notice it. Maybe he's forgotten.
There's trailers and stills. Yeah.
Yeah. These plushies are there, and they have look at the weird-eyed one to the left, but we get a clear look. Those are clearly Ood.
Mm-hmm.
3 right there. The one to the right is an adipose.
Yep.
We got the
Jejune, which is just a rhino. Come on. Up in the top
Weeping
left.
Angel? Is that the Weeping Angel in the bottom left? Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. But did she meet the Weeping Angels?
Yeah, interesting. Because the whole thing is apparently Donna makes these, but if they're all based on creatures she's never met a Weeping Angel.
Nope. Or a Tribble?
Yeah. So there's stuff she has met, but other ones, they could just be production could have just made them as just neat little cameos or Easter eggs, or just something.
Maybe she had them in a book or an audio book.
Oh, maybe yes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't recall hearing about that, but
I don't think she's met in audio, so maybe a book.
Yeah, maybe a book.
Maybe a book. Yep.
Look in a book. Yes. Let's see. What do I have here? So Disney Plus went ahead and confirmed the title of the holiday special this year, because we're getting it on Christmas too. Did you hear what dates they're coming out, Landry?
No, I knew nothing.
So it's going to be coming out this November on the 25th, then December 2nd and December 9th. Saturday, in the park.
And then 2 weeks later, back with a Christmas special, which they've accidentally revealed the title of, The Church on Ruby Road.
Which we know His companion is named Ruby Sunday. So,
okay.
He seems.
And it's on a. No, it's not a Sunday. I was gonna say Christmas is on a Sunday. No, it's not. It's on a Monday. Christmas Eve is on a Sunday. I know that because I have to work it.
Same.
Probably the same.
Coming into work at 3 a.m. to get a head start.
So much fun. Anyway, so that's exciting. And pretty much the last thing that we really have to bring up is their relaunch, their branding, what they're calling and I have to mute this. WHONIVERSE.
Yes, so everything on iPlayer is in a big collection called the WHONIVERSE. Doctor Who, Torchwood, Sarah Jane Adventures, K9 and Company. Not the K9 TV show. That's not in there. Okay. But K9 and Company, all of it is branded as part of the WHONIVERSE. Yep. If you want to watch it, well, you have to be in the UK or use a VPN.
Yeah, that's the sucky thing.
That's fine. That's sad, but fine. I have all of the Sarah Jane Adventures, so.
And Tales from the TARDIS is also under this relaunch. I really want to see them.
I want to watch them. I've heard they're really, really good.
Really heartwarming.
Have you heard about... You haven't heard about Tales of the TARDIS, have you, Landry?
What is it?
So essentially, there's a select few classic Who episodes where they get 2 cast members back. So it's treated like they're in this setting called it's a remembered TARDIS or a memory TARDIS. So the older versions of, like, let's say the first one they did is Earthshock. So they got Peter Davison and Janet Fielding back as the Fifth Doctor and Tegan. Talking
These
about
already playing? These already a thing?
Yeah.
God, I'm out of the loop. I've been
so they come back together. They're talking about Earthshock, and it's actually them dealing with like them talking about what happened with Adric. It's actually them coming to terms and actually talking about it instead of just like, oh, move along. Then there's one with there's the Mind Robber. So they got Jamie and Zoe. And the thing is, apparently these little segments they happen before and after the story. So it's like you watch that, and then the episode happens, and that at the conclusion, it's them wrapping it up. And I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen clips of it. The Mind Robber one is really good because it's now canon that they remember, and it's also a sweet kind of. Jamie has a sweet little moment thinking about Victoria. He's like, I hope she's out there somewhere, and Zoe telling me she definitely is, and she'll always remember you.
Did the actress die?
Yeah, I think Deborah Watling died
a few years ago, right?
Yeah. And then I think then the last one was the Time Meddler, and they got Stephen and Vicky for that one.
You totally passed over Six and Perry.
Oh yeah, Six and Perry for Vengeance on Varos, and then Seven and Ace for The Curse of Fenric.
Nice.
Yes. So it's just reuniting the and then Three Doctors. It's Joe and Clyde from the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah.
It's a nice little bringing back cast members together.
It looks like a very sweet show that I'm pretty sure they already talked about doing more.
I hope they do more.
But
everybody wants more.
Everybody wants more. I want more.
I'll be checking these out.
See,
hopefully soon.
I don't want to go on a slight tangent. I don't want to get off course, but Zach, that's because that episode is written half by a decent writer. And that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
Isn't that's the one, it's a two-parter, right?
No, Village of the Angels was a part of Flux. It was episode 4. It introduced Jericho.
As I recall, the problem was it was one of the best 13th Doctor episodes, but it had no consequences.
Really
right?
has
because it was part of an overarching story.
At the end, she's like, "Okay, that's done. Let's move on." It's like,
yeah, because it sets her up. She turns into a weeping angel at the end, and then nope, that's just for fun.
Her. It's just afterwards. She's I'm good now.
Yep.
Well, speaking of 13's character arc, I think it was in a recent magazine. RTD said that the middle story in the specials, Wild Blue Yonder, will have slight connections to the Timeless Child and Flux.
Yeah.
See, as much as I don't like either of those, I actually want them to actually address it, because they are, one of them is a huge universe breaking thing about the Doctor that is just swept aside.
In fairness, we've had that twice before with the 7th and the 8th Doctors. We had all the implications. 7th Doctor, I'm more than just another another Time Lord. And then the 8th, like, his mother was human. Like, these things that eventually go, well, maybe that was just not true. That would be great if that's what they do.
Yeah. I think that then the thing with Flux, the universe is ravaged. Like, essentially,
there's no
destroyed.
Universe anymore.
And okay, so how is this fixed? It's not. And it doesn't get addressed at the end of its season. So, as much as I don't like them, I actually want an end to them. Someone to actually go and actually, here's the end for it. We can move on.
Let's look at another science fiction or fantasy universe if it had done something similar. It'd be akin to if Empire Strikes Back ended as we know it did, and Return of the Jedi, they just ignored all of that. It's like it just didn't. They just moved on. Just moved on. Had a new adventure. There was never another mention of it. Even Luke meets Vader, and they never mention that he's his dad. Just gone. No, let's not even talk about it.
So like the middle Mandalorian episodes where they would derail suddenly. Yeah. Sorry.
So.
Yeah, no, I understand RTD is supporting his friend Chris Chibnall and saying that I'm not just wiping it away.
Wipe it away.
Just wipe it away.
It's funny. I was hesitant to watch the 2000s reboot, for lack of a better term, the return of the show, because I'm like, I was a Doctor. It didn't. I just assumed it was a complete reboot, a new show. I did not realize I have one. It's nice, right? I didn't think it was going to be had connective tissue, so I didn't watch it. And then I found out Sarah Jane was coming back, and I understood the depth of connectivity to the original series. And that's what brought me in and and I discovered a show that I liked even more than the original. Now I want the reboot. Now I feel like it just needs, start over. 60 years, and it's fine. 60 years was a great run. Let's go with one again. Year one. Fine.
I can't agree with that. I can't agree with
60 years of shows to watch. Time for something new.
But that's kind of what he's trying to do now. And especially if you believe the bi-regeneration theory, which I don't want to. No, nobody wants.
What theory?
There's a theory. Not a theory, real. It's one of those leaks. And apparently they are saying that at the end of these specials, David is going to not simply regenerate into Ncuti. They are going to bi-regenerate. And so out of him, Ncuti will come, and there will be two Doctors at once. And David will stay on Earth, have his own little TARDIS, a token for winning the Toymaker's game, and Ncuti will be going off as a new, dropping the weight.
At that point, just reboot. Don't try. It's too much. Just reboot. Start over. They
See, I
should
don't-
have started over with
See,
what's
the thing is, I think this theory is stupid because it's just, it's essentially just the Meta Crisis Doctor again. And I say it would make no sense for like, why does 14 just want to stay on Earth now?
Yeah.
Why? He just wants to stay there. At least with Meta Crisis, it's like, well, he's stuck in a parallel universe and he gets to be with Rose. But like this version of the Doctor that's had like thousands of years of like history.
This Doctor is thousands of years older than that last one. That Doctor was young in comparison.
Yeah, so just having it being like, oh, he's just going to stay on Earth because I don't think RTD is going to just be. I'm going to just reuse something I did and just make it worse.
We're doing a sequel.
Not every RTD episode was great.
That's true.
He wrote Love and Monsters.
Okay, sometimes every now and again, Russell T Davies was genius, and I think we can all agree, no matter what we say, we're all agreeing that episode was probably the best. But
honestly, Love and Monsters is a good episode until that last act.
Until
we got a bit of a love life.
If the Doctor had been able to save them and bring them back to life, then it could have been great. The fact that the whole thing that they're all dead, they're all on the Absorbalov's butt or whatever, and they only one of them was, and then he's dating a piece of stone, which I still have from when we talked about that last time. I still have this in my right here. It's been here since we talked about that last time. That was a while ago too. I should really take
is that where you've been? Are you having a bit of a love life with your son of concrete?
I should draw a face on it. I think that was the last time I was on the show. Anyway, reboot.
I can't agree to that. I can't agree to that because there's just you're saying something that's been going on for 60 years. It has so much expanded material, and now you have RTD coming back, and he wants to do more Doctor Who than ever. He wants to do more than just the show. He wants to have spin-offs. He wants to have these touching things going through the history. He wants so much, but I can't feel that way, that excited if you go ahead and say this universe doesn't matter. The only way you could have done that
is not matter. It still matters. It's there. It's still there. It still matters. It's like the Star Wars expanded universe. It didn't die. It's right there. You can pick it up anytime.
But there's okay. Well, I don't want to go into a Star Wars tangent because then we could talk about the sequels and say that the previous 6 movies don't matter. But that's another story. That's another channel. This show has so much history to it, and we're here because of that history. If you do a full reboot, which was proposed before, if they did a full reboot, it's not going to hit the same. It would have to be different on its own, and you can't say, well, this is taking the place of that old show. We don't need that crap anymore. Nobody liked that anyway.
But I don't think that's what it says. I think it just simply says that, let's make it like what made the 2006 series work so great for me is like, what is it like to see the Daleks now? What are the Cybermen going to be like? What are the Sontarans going to be like? It was it was a soft reboot. It had connective tissue, especially those first 2 seasons to the original series, was how much? The occasional flash, a shot of a Cyberman. Very minimal, and it worked great.
Let's see. Series 1. Let's see. Unit, just casually mentioning he worked for them. The Daleks, obviously.
The Cybermen head museum, yeah.
That was it for Series 1. Series 2 was the very clear one with Sarah Jane. coming back.
That was a hardcore one. And then of course it just everything felt new, fresh, and exciting. And I was sitting there as an old fan going, how will they handle this? Well, now I know how they handle all of it. I've seen it. Will they do that again? Will it have the same excitement? I just don't know.
But I can't. So
it went away for what, 15 years? That helped. Go away for a long time and you can continue the show as it is, but you got to go away for a long time. Maybe if they took off 10 more years.
But for me, it feels like Doctor Who's been gone for a long time. Even with expanded material, Doctor Who for me has been gone for 6 years. 6 years.
I get that.
2 redeeming episodes of an entire run. An entire 3 seasons. There's 3 redeeming episodes. I'll correct my statement.
Can't even speak to that.
Yeah.
House of
Dia.
The haunting. My bad.
Haunting.
It led into basically the Timeless Children. So it's.
Oh yeah. That one was okay. That was all right.
It had a shard. He was interesting. It was neat.
It went nowhere.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, it's the problem with Chibnall. Sometimes he'll have these really good ideas, and he just doesn't know how to finish
Chibnall, you see it in his interview when he was a kid. Chibnall thought the answer was to build a new wheel rather than just make a really good wheel. You have to do it all new. We've seen it all before. We got to do it all new. It didn't. Just make a really good wheel. It's fine. You know what Russell T Davies did the first time? He made a really good wheel. He did not reinvent it. It's the same tropes. The tropes work with Doctor Who. And if you move away, I don't care if you reboot. I don't care if you don't reboot ultimately, but you have to make it feel like Doctor Who. And Chibnall, I appreciate his adherence to the vision he clearly had for decades, which is let's make it something different. But that was wrong. I can respect the creative drive, but don't.
But it was the wrong different.
Yeah.
And then not committing to it fully.
And that's
by the end, he just hand waved all these big things that he put into it.
And that's really my fear for the idea of a full reboot. And that goes for most things. If you're telling me you're going to do a reboot of something, you're saying that either you have a new vision for something you loved, or you have a new vision that you think is better. And if you think what you're doing inherently is better, then that's not out of love. That's not a creation out of inspiration. That's a creation out of ego. That's a creation out of, I'm better.
Okay. I don't agree. I think it depends on what your motivation. Better is relative. Better, I think I could do it better than they did it. Well, yes, okay, that's ego. Better for a modern audience is a different standard. I mean, I rebooted Supergirl, Cosmic Adventures in 8th grade. We rebooted, we relaunched her about keeping in a way that recaptured the spirit of the original. We treated it with love and respect, and we made it something that captured the imagination spirit of the original that had become too dated structurally for modern audiences, and retold those stories for a new audience, for a modern audience. And I think that's what we want to continually see with these things, with Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, any of it. It has to stay modern and relevant for the audiences to care. We don't want just the old audience to age out with it, which is what we see happen too often. We want new people to find it, new people to want it.
I will say
you want a good mix. I'd say you want a good mix. You want something that'll keep that older generation with you that have been tried and true, and then you also want to bring freshness to it. You don't want to completely disregard one side in favor of the other. Let's see. Well, going with comic books, New 52.
New 52.
We want a new audience. Okay, what about the audience that have been there with you for years? No, but we want to update this for the modern new audience because that's what we want. And it was kind of divisive. Some people liked it, some didn't.
I was literally working for DC at the time, so I totally get that one. The thing is DC tried to do that. It was a wrong attempt and wrong approach for an ailing industry. Whereas in Poe, when they did it in 1957 with the Silver Age, with the beginning of the Silver Age, with the rebirth. They got rid of Jay Garrick Flash, they got rid of Alan Scott Green Lantern, they got rid of all the JSA and replaced it with the JLA, and it worked great because they handled it well. They actually did a full committed reboot. They committed. That's what we were saying earlier, right? They fully committed to the reboot in the 50s. As opposed to New 52, they didn't commit. It's a soft, like they tried, but then it's actually they've been here for 5 years and you've been reading their stories, but you haven't been reading their stories and they're different, but they're not. Just change. Like
for Superman, this is new for Superman. It's recent, but for Green Lantern, everything that happened before still happened. It's like that is like a lot of history just for that single.
And that was certain creators' egos unwilling to let their babies die in the fire, like burn it all down, because Crisis on Infinite Earth did a brilliant reboot in 1985 and everyone loved it. It was really successful, really good. It brought in tons of new readers. The New 52, it's not that the reboot was a problem, it's just they just did a bad job.
I think Crisis is a different, like Crisis on Infinite Earths. I love that story. And I love so many books after that. And I like some of the books before. Golden Age is the era before that is a little shoddy. But when Crisis came up, when it became this new universe, it still kept core things for characters. It felt new while continuing to feel like the characters. You feel that Superman. It's not Superman. That older Superman.
John Byrne's Superman brought Superman alive for a new audience, distilled him down to his basics, represented it, and gave something that me at age 14 could go, holy shit, Superman's cool. What the hell? I didn't know Superman was cool. And it was a great book. But that's because he boiled it down to its ethos. That's what Russell T Davies really did with Doctor Who, down to its core, and gave us exactly what we wanted the first time he did it. Will he do it a second time?
I think he's doing it a second time. It looks like that exactly. So
is it because our first thing we're getting is regressive, is David Tennant. Eccleston was a mystery. Everything about the Doctor was a mystery, and we saw it all through Rose's eyes. Who is this strange guy? What is this blue box? We don't know. And we were all Rose. Now we're in on the joke, so to speak. We're like, yep, it's his 14th. This is whatever we're calling him, like the Return of Tennant. It's Donna Noble. You have for this. Does this work if you've never seen Doctor Who?
I mean,
Russell T Davies' first approach did.
I feel like we'll see more of that with when Shooty takes over, because I think the main thing is David. It's back for an anniversary. So I feel like that's more of a celebratory thing. But I think we'll hopefully see more of like RTD1 in RTD2 when it's Shooty taking over.
Fair.
And I think it's also, it basically is it's the shiny dangling thing that he's going ahead and holding to bring back people, because they lost a lot of people. Even Who fans, like regular Who fans, don't talk about neurotic stuff like that.
No.
Regular Who fans drop off.
There's people out there in general who they're here to hate. They monetize hatred, or they monetize rage. Listen, we all together talked about the Timeless Child arcs as they came out and gave them the fairest chance that we could. There were things. A lot of creative effort, a lot of good approaches, a lot of things that were interesting. Hell, I still love their approach to the Sontarans better than I saw anything of the Russell T Davies era Sontarans. Visually, anyway. There was a lot of things I liked about that. There's things I liked. it just didn't work in the long run. What they tried to do. I will say this: I've come to respect Chibnall's. It's like Rob Liefeld. I don't like what Rob Liefeld did in comics, but I love that he tried to do something so outrageously weird. He's tried to capture energy on the page. It didn't work very well, in my opinion. Some people love him. A lot of people hate him, but he did something. Comics didn't look like that until he came along. So good on him for trying to change the medium. Chibnall tried to do something creative. He didn't see it through. It didn't work, but if people don't take big swings, they never get a big hit. He took a swing.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss because, I don't know, because he had written for Who before, and while some of his stories weren't the best, you feel like he would still... Somebody who's been writing for the show for the past 2 showrunners.
Yeah, but what did he write? The
Power 3.
He brought back the Silurians, which I know you prefer the other look, but I actually liked the updating.
Yeah, he brought them back and then not called them Silurians.
And
although to be fair, that was the whole Moffat era thing of like a lot of classic ones just weren't referred to as like the Autons. Nesting duplicates. It's like, what's wrong with the word Auton? That's what they're called.
Let
me get the list. Okay. So for Doctor Who, before he took over as showrunner, he did 42, which was in series 3. We already mentioned it, the 2-part Silurian return. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, the less said, the better. Power of 3, which Jimmy will fight you with. He loves that episode.
I see no Jimmy. It's bad.
Yeah. I didn't like Power of 3. But that was mainly because it was in Series 7A where they really did not know what to do with the ponds because they were leaving.
Yeah.
And then he just then a couple of minisodes, Pond Life and PS. That was before he took over.
Most of those are. No one is naming those as your must-see episodes. No one's saying, "Oh my god!"
They're either just okay or not good.
Yeah. These are not the credentials you get where you say, this is the guy we want to take over British's flagship in like science fiction. This is their mythos. This is something uniquely British. Let's give it to him because he's done adequately. Let's reward adequacy.
Well, he also did Broadchurch, which was a show so good that they had to make an adaptation for America, which wasn't as good, but
I've heard that.
And then compared with Moffat, you have Empty Child, Dr. Dances, Girl in the Fireplace, Blink, Time Crash, Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead.
Okay. Stop. He's already dead. Chibnall's already dead. Didn't Chibnall write Torchwood? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. He gave us the infamous Sex Gas, the 2nd episode.
Yep, that's not helping.
He also gave us Cyberwoman.
I take it back. I renege on it. I'm done. No more.
Well, let me fair. He did do the last episode of Series 2, Exit Wounds. That's the big, death.
Well, what's his Owen? Is that when Owen dies?
Yeah, Owen and Tosh die.
Is that? Oh, that was fine. I mean, the peak for me, Torchwood, is when Owen faces death. Like
that's a good one. I like that one.
That's brilliant. I don't know who wrote that one. I wonder whoever they are. If that's Chibnall, then I say yes, Chibnall.
It's not Chibnall.
Library was a.
I knew it wasn't going to be
Chibnall. Written by Matt Jones.
Good on you,
Not
Matt
familiar.
Jones.
He began his career as a columnist for Doctor Who magazine and wrote the Virgin New Adventures novel Bad Therapy.
So what this proves to me is that Mark Gatiss should have been the next showrunner for Doctor Who. Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
I have no problem with that.
Sleep No More, whole season of it.
Okay, Sleep No More is not great.
I liked it. it's the different thing that I enjoyed. It was different enough. It had a neat feeling, and then it ends with
joking aside. I'll give it to them for them trying something different, but it's a genre that was oversaturated, and it just wasn't good.
Like musical episodes.
I hate musical episodes. Are you who's a musical episode fan here?
I'm not a musical episode fan, but I want them to do different stuff in Doctor Who. As long as it works.
I will say there can be shows with musical episodes that have entertaining songs. It can be entertaining. It's not good for a show.
I generally loathe them.
Wasn't there? Which one was it?
A musical murdered my family.
Okay, but what about no, that doesn't really count. Only Murders in the Building. It had a musical in the show.
Yeah, they were making it. That contextually. That's different. And that, for the record, I just finished season 3. Are you guys watching that one? Only Murder.
It's so good.
I've heard good things. It's one I need to start.
It's so good. It's so good.
Just put
I think musicals can work if it makes sense.
Yes,
to the story. If it's just like we're having a musical. If it's just random, like, oh, this is now just a musical episode, it's like, no, it doesn't
We've been
work.
cursed with the singing virus. Oh, la, 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 la. Die.
This is a planet where they only speak in song.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, my problem with musical episodes, it often reads like they put the actors before the story. Like the actors really want to sing. So let's do an episode where they get to sing because they want to show off their singing skills. Like, I don't care if the actor is really into singing. I care about...
Big example, the DCCW stuff. Because they had actors who were on like Glee. So it's like, let's do musical. Let's do a crossover between Flash and Supergirl, and it's a musical episode.
Yeah, that was something. Psych the Musical, it stands outside of it because it's a special that was done outside of the story. It was just for fun. It was fluff. It's like if you go see a Doctor Who stage play. It's not real. You're having a fun.
Can we get another Ultimate Adventure?
Quasar virus? No, it's not the Quasar virus.
Macaroni and cheese scented candle.
Why
that just reminded me of how convoluted that Flash Supergirl musical was.
It was terrible. Like that's what it smelled like. That episode smelled like mac and cheese scented candles. That was a terrible episode. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not. It's just not good. But for Doctor Who, I want them to at least try something different. It doesn't have to be like every series they try something different. You know, every once in a while, spice it up a bit. But as long as it's good,
what's the one
where sense.
Tennant's in the spaceship, and it's the bottle episode in the spaceship, and it's brilliant with a voice stealing.
Midnight. Yeah.
I mean, Donna Noble, Turn Left. And funny enough, they did their best different kind of episodes when they're like, okay, we got no budget for this one. We only have half the cast. The other half of the cast taking a vacation. Let's do. And I've often found when writing, that's when you find your genius moments because you have to think outside the box. You've got to work with your limited toolbox. You've got to make it all come together. And you do something different out of necessity, not out of indulgence. When you're doing it because you're just, let's do something different, it's usually just masturbatory. But when you're sitting there going, we have to make this work. How do we do that? You usually come up with something good.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, that's how Classic Who has so many genius things because of that very limit that you're saying.
The TARDIS itself is born out of desperation.
Yeah.
The design, they couldn't build a spaceship. So like it's a police box. The actor was going to leave. What do we do? He just changes form. So much of the mythos of Doctor Who is born out of desperation, and that's when you get
Eat that, Steph.
Yeah.
Sorry. Nepo baby.
If you don't design the console room right now, I'm just going to just stay here and annoy you. Okay, well, there it is.
And
here's the design for the console room because I want you to leave. You're annoying me.
And it has endured like crazy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was...
Speaking of adventures in space and time, Mark Gatiss did say he would like to do another one.
I saw that.
Centered around Colin Baker's last year. Trial of the Time Lord.
You know what? I would love to see that because that had to be because all the behind the scenes stuff going on about the end of Doctor Who, the death of the show, the near death of the show. It went off the air for a while. The song, oh my God, they can cover
Doctor in Distress.
Hans Zimmer's masterpiece.
Yeah, you have like so much you can do for like another Adventures in Time and Space and Time if you do that. Yet their original idea, like them making their original ideas for season 23 and then eventually having to scrap it because they said you have to do a season-long story that will determine the fate of the show.
Maybe we should re-review Trial of the Time Lord. Maybe
nothing would make me happier. I love that story. I love it so much.
There's something there to it. I don't deny it. It's like it really is legitimate. I had not watched that one until we set up to watch for this, and I watched it, and you're not wrong. There's something there with it.
What it
works.
Is desperation, just like you said a moment ago. They had to find a way of connecting these stories that had nothing to do with one another into this little box, this little tale, and they built a court case around it, and it's brilliant.
And it's something different.
The ultimate it's so interesting. Oh, this is actually your darker aspects of yourself in a later time. Oh my God, give it to me.
See, that would also be an interesting drama piece. The whole Robert Holmes passing away, so they don't, and that Eric Sayward just didn't like J&T, didn't want to. So okay, you can't use whatever Holmes decided for the ultimate foe. What I revised, you have to do something completely different. So that had to get in Pip and Jane Baker at the last moment.
And then
that could just be an episode by itself.
They can even recreate that moment where a young what's his name is complaining about the show on the air to Pip and Jane, like
a young Chris Chibnall.
Yeah, a young Chris Chibnall could show up going, "Hey, it's not very good, is it?" And
slightly better written.
See, that'd be a great another season of Adventures. You know, the time where Doctor Who almost died and barely survived.
I'm sad that Jimmy isn't here because this is his favorite Trial of the Time Lord.
It's his favorite story. It's his favorite Doctor.
It's only thing it's missing is Mark Gatiss and.
Mark Gatiss will put himself in there somehow.
If he does, I mean, it really brings all of Jimmy's favorite things with Doctor Who together. Trial of the Time Lord, Doctor,
Mark Gaddis's Michael Grade.
All there together. So, that's what we can hope for him. Wherever he is now.
Yeah. Because I know a few other after this came out, a few other people were like, "Oh, there could be other parts of like just Doctor Who history that could work, like Tom Baker's era, especially towards the end."
Well, I think it'd be good if it
like
covered
his huge fame, and then towards the end where just a lot of personal stuff was happening.
I don't think there's anything. The two most pivotal moments in the history of the show really kind of have to be the original run with Hartnell leading up to Troughton taking over. There's something there, and they covered that so beautifully. And then the next most epic moment in history, in terms of the behind-the-scenes history, probably is around Trial of the Time Lord. It is a sequence that makes the most sense because
those last two eras, the Baker McCoy era, where then the show was just ended. Yeah, it was canceled.
And I mean, just around I have this set of magazines that does this great collection of interviews from Doctor Who Monthly and assembles them all into a really comprehensive look behind the scenes. And Doctor Who was never in distress as a show as much as it was during the time of Doctor in Distress. It really, everything, I mean, the pressure on the show to get it canceled from up high, the bad ratings. I mean, Colin Baker, the death of Colin Baker's child.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heavy shit going on in there. Like, take this man's, like, one of the happiest moments of this man's life, and then combine it with the saddest moment, as inconceivably sad moment. Like, there is a drama waiting to be told there, absolutely, if it's appropriate to tell about, and here's the difference, people who are still alive to a large degree.
Yeah.
Hartnell's gone. You know, Colin Baker's still here. Sylvester McCoy's still here.
I still feel like, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for my boy Colin. I love him dearly, but I can almost picture a moment at the end where young Colin's having a hard time, and then older Colin is just across the console. It's okay.
And I would just think that if they did anything, getting his blessing first probably would be the appropriate step. The man has done so much for Doctor Who over the decades. For somebody who met with such contempt by the audience, myself included, to be perfectly honest. That's what I drifted out of Doctor Who after that. I didn't come back until David Tennant. I was gone. I mean, I was also aging out of it. I was like, 15? You know, I was moving on. But they would respectfully, I think they would need to move forward with his clearance, I would think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jess Puck suggests, what about also the wilderness years? Them just trying to keep it alive as minimal as they could. And also their attempts to try and bring it back.
Well, the information is interesting, and I don't know that there's a real human story behind it.
Yeah.
Whereas Colin Baker's story is a very human story.
Yeah, information-wise, just them is like, we'll continue it with the Virgin New Adventures, and then the constant just like making the movie, whatever version they had.
Yeah.
Also,
it was like, we have Last of the Time Lords, and then that fell through. It's like, here's the different scripts for what eventually became the TV movie.
Have you seen some of the bits about Scream and Shulka, the people that made the cartoon?
Oh yeah, it was like bare bones.
But the way that they're saying, because at the same time they had announced Doctor Who's actually coming back, and
before they were treating it as like, this is the continuation.
This is it, and then
RTD was announced to bring it back, and they're like, oh,
if we had known, we wouldn't have made this.
Yeah, if we had known, we wouldn't have made Scream of Shulka.
Awkward.
That is a little...
What we need is a new show. We need to get the closest we can get to a modern Peter Cushing and have Doctor Who, Dr. Who, and have his adventures with Susan, his young granddaughter.
I still think that that Capaldi should have just regenerated back into the First Doctor with what's his name playing the First Doctor, and him going, what? And then give me a season of that.
That would have been interesting. I mean, that's an idea that's been in the expanded material. That it's just a eternal return. Eventually, the Doctor just goes back to the start.
I always come back.
Yeah, they have 12 regenerations. It's the clock.
Yeah,
the 13 lives, admittedly, but 12 regenerations. It should go in a circle, just an infinite. I have no problem. I have some friends that skipped all of New Who. They completely huge Doctor Who fans as growing up have no idea what's going on in Doctor Who since 2006. And I'm just informing them, and they're like, no, they can't get new regenerations. What? He only had 13 lives. Like, look, even the original show covered this. Even the original show said, the Fifth Doctor, they offer the Master a new set of regenerations. Like,
yeah,
they can mess.
Or you could have immortality. Rassilon had immortality.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that New Who created just so they could find a way to continue the show.
No, I always took the Masters when he's first talking to Tennant in the new show. He says they offered me a new set of regenerations.
Yeah,
to
they brought me back.
Yeah, it's like it's like we saw it in the 5 Doctors basically.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibilities for them.
No, not at all. Nor should it be. But it should always be something that is beyond the Doctor. Like that's what I didn't like about the Timeless Child. Setting the Doctor above all of that is never going to be okay with me.
I'm never going to forgive Chibnall for taking away the idea of having some modern Gallifrey. I want to see Gallifrey in the New Age. That's what I was waiting for so long. And then
Gallifrey, I think Gallifrey should have never come back. It should have been forever dead. Or
Gallifrey works as you only just go there maybe once.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
every couple of faces you have to keep going back. There has to be something.
Not really.
Yes.
I think Gallifrey should just. The thing is, the only way Gallifrey works great when it first shows up, and they're basically like gods and
they're a mystery.
And the Proto Master dude, the War Chief, is freaking out over it. The Doctor is basically very well aware that it's functionally a death sentence. There's no escape. It was such a big deal. That's like you don't show that too often. You show it too often, it loses all power. Just like the Master. God, when the Master first came back with Dave Tennant, we're all just like, oh. Now the Master's like, yep, there's Master again.
But it was that way with Missy too. Missy, we were expecting it, but at the same time, when it was official, that reveal at the end is satisfying. There's something satisfying about that. Yes, there is. What are you doing? No.
It's mainly performance alone.
Yeah.
No, she's great. She's a great performer. I loved her in the role. I just, here's what I think I've said this before. What I'm never going to forgive Moffat for is the one thing I waited for from Doctor Who the very first time when I first discovered what Doctor Who was. I'm waiting to see how the Doctor handles his last life. How will he suddenly deal with being mortal? He's no different than anyone else now. A bullet will kill him. A car hitting him will kill him. There's no more regeneration. Oh, as soon as I found out regeneration was, and they only had 13 lives, I'm like, let's see what happens when he doesn't have that anymore. We never got that because Moffat arrogantly and egotistically wanted to be the one to tell that story.
I didn't see it that way.
We never got to see the Doctor be a fragile mortal.
And I think,
the closest we kind of get to that is Seven in expanded media, because he's like, I'm Time's champion. I'm the one that rights the wrongs, that will defeat evil. Everything has to be grand. So especially in the expanded material, when he's reaching the end of his life, he's worried that his successor, isn't going to do what he's going to do.
So he's
not going to be as ruthless as he is, and everything needs to be finalized. It needs to be this big grand thing, and he's hoping that how he goes out kind of justifies his what he's amounted to during that life, and it's not. He just gets shot.
You're right. I see that working.
Are they going to be handling part of that in Big Finish with this next?
Oh yeah, the last day.
Yeah, his
last day before the TV movie.
That'd be interesting. Hold that thought. I'm going to be right back. Well, you continue.
What was I saying? Yeah.
I'd say the only other, speaking of like Gallifrey, the mystery, the only time that going back to Gallifrey and bringing something different, like kind of revitalizing kind of like the Time Lords, was Deadly Assassin. The more political side to Gallifrey.
But that's what Trial of the Time Lord has too. It's not on Gallifrey, but it's still Time Lords.
Yeah, the Deadly Assassin was first.
Yes, of course Deadly Assassin was first. But I was saying that's the kind of aspect I like. It's just like Peladon. I love Peladon when it has this great. The world building in the first Peladon episodes is fantastic. It's astounding. You get a sense of what their society is like, their culture, and the Doctor is in the action of it. But it's different on Gallifrey because it has a personal connection. When he was visiting Peladon and they did excellent job world building, that's great and all, but it's the Doctor learning about Peladon compared to the Doctor being home where he's uncomfortable.
It's like telling us who the Joker is.
No,
you don't need to know.
It's not telling us who the Joker is.
I was saying earlier, Landry, while you were gone, that Deadly Assassin was the next one where it brought something different for the Time Lords. It showed the more political side to them, which is what they're more well known for now.
That's why I brought up Peladon, because that's a fantastic political episode,
right.
And
because after that, then you have Invasion, where it's like, whatever. And then what's next with Time Lords? Technically, Five Doctors, Arc of Infinity, where it's like it's just more of the same of them.
Seeing the Time Lords be more fallible than the Doctor, doddering around, a bit feeble, confused. Like this is not. Don't get me wrong. I love Deadly Assassin. There's a lot I enjoyed about it, but it also diminishes them. It makes them too human, too real, too not ethereal and powerful enough, not mysterious and enigmatic. They need to be something more so that we feel the Doctor. He is the human one of them. The rest of them are something else.
But that again. Trial of a Time Lord is one of those political Time Lord episodes. They have a court. Yes, it's feeling kind of human because they feel personal. Linda Bellingham, she's great. But it still has something to it. The Doctor is very afraid. He's fighting for his life.
Are you familiar with Trial of Galactus?
Yes.
Okay. It's reminding me of that, in that I would have enjoyed Trial of a Time Lord a lot more. Like, I did enjoy it. And you made me see the value in it. And I really do respect what they tried to do with it. But what would have won me over more is if that trial had not been conducted by Time Lords. If it had been conducted by, like an assemblage of beings, of aliens who basically like, no, you know what, we're going to call you account for your crimes. I could have seen that working. Like,
no, because the whole thing, his crimes have to do with time and space, and who are the beings that handle observing time and space and making sure the natural order of things continues.
There are lots of time travelers in Doctor Who.
But that's one of the great. Yes, there are time travelers, but there aren't enough Time Lords. Funny enough, because you have the Master. But you have more fun ones. Ronnie should have been expanded upon in better ways, rather than. And
I think that I am actually the belief of the Doctor having multiple Time Lord enemies diminishes all of them. Like the Doctor, the Master, that's it. That's enough. That's why forever the Monk, the War Chief, they're just the Master for me. Ronnie, that's probably the Master too. Let them all be the Master. It's fine.
No. I disagree.
You want more. You just want more Time Lords. But does it make them better when there's a whole familiarity and pulling back the curtain? Less is more. We see so much. We know so much about the Time Lords that we're just like, they're banal after a point. Are they really like these? They should be something more. Is all I'm saying.
I agree. At the same time, I feel like you can do more without killing them off for all of New Who.
It also makes the Doctor less unique. Every time there's another traveling Time Lord with their own TARDIS mucking about.
I didn't say we need new Time Lords going about.
No, I'm just saying okay, but for me, the Ronnie was new. I was already a Doctor Who fan when the Ronnie showed up.
That's
so I'm saying, are you kidding me? Just use the Master. Just the Master's right there. And at the time, the popular belief was that the War Chief and the Monk were the Master because of that role-playing game book declaring that they were, which was licensed material. So everyone believed they were all on.
Humble Bundle has a deal right now. If anyone's interested in playing some Doctor Who, I'll buy it. Playing some Doctor Who RPG, I'm down.
I know. I'm going to look this up.
Humble Bundle.
Look up Humble Bumble.
Humble Bundle.
Humble Bundle. I can talk.
It's all ebooks, but it's still bundle. You know, Jimmy, don't make me go back into my history logs because I have the Trial of a Time Lord review somewhere.
Where is Jimmy?
He's in the comments. He's trolling.
I don't know if I believe in Jimmy anymore. Is Jimmy? Let's see. 10th Doctor Source Book, Chronicles Volume 1. We got Doctor Who Cold Vengeance audiobook. Lots of comics, Diary of River Song audio drama. Is there a trial of River Song? Didn't she go to trial? The Time Traveler's Companion? Yeah, no, absolutely. Jenny's Travels as the Doctor's daughter. I was surprised we did not get that, at least in some expanded, or have we now gotten it in expanded?
She has 2 series on Big Finish.
Yeah, no, I thought we were going to see more of her in the series. I was very disappointed that we didn't. I thought, even though there's a lot I didn't like about that episode, she was not it. She was not my problem with that episode.
You don't like random fish people?
I didn't like Martha in that one. Martha on my nerves. Martha was gone. I'll bring Martha back.
I can barely remember. But at the same time, Martha was trying to talk the doctor into accepting that he has a daughter because the doctor didn't want that. And then
her role in that one was actually decent.
And maybe it was trying to set up something, but I think maybe real life got in the way because after that she got with David Tennant, and then she has stuff going on.
They have like a bunch of kids now, right? Like,
so many kids.
That's why he's back. He needs the money. I mean, all the college funds.
What do you mean? He has 2 successful shows staged, and then
but he has a lot of kids, and college is crazy expensive.
Still.
One of them's an actor. He's got his own money.
One of his kids?
Yeah, Ty Tennant. He was in House of the Dragon.
Who?
Ty Tennant.
Ty Tennant. He played young. Was it Aegon?
Yeah.
Young Aegon in House of the Dragon.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
He's jerking off in the window.
They already have a 21. Wait.
Well, so
no.
That's not a previous relationship.
Right. That's okay. That makes more sense. Yes.
Yeah, he was adopted officially by David Tennant.
And that's wonderful. That's wonderful that he did that. That kid is actually really good. I did not realize that was Peter Davison's grandson. He should probably grow up to play the Doctor then, I imagine.
It's it's possible.
I mean, he's getting close. Like, give him another 3 or 4 years. He's probably ready.
I mean, he was in the
RTD watching from a distance. He looks right to me.
I mean, honestly, I'm looking at a picture of him right now going, yeah, I would watch this kid as the Doctor. No problem. All right. Make it happen. Weird.
Keep it. Yeah,
weird. I remember
keep it in the family.
I remember reading an interview with Peter Davison in real time when Georgia Moffat was born, if I recall correctly. So that's weird.
Certain names just keep popping up in Doctor Who history. It gets a little odd. Baker, Moffat.
Yeah, because she was born in 84. I started watching Doctor Who in like 83, I think, 82, 83. And I remember when she was born, and yet David Tennant is also older than me.
It's a strange world we live in.
Yeah.
I am glad that you were here this week, though, because you managed to make a stream that was about to end at half an hour. We've gone on for another hour. So we should probably end it now. It's good to be back. We want to thank everybody so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel. Be on the lookout for Works of Landry. Anything you can talk about, Landry?
I got a new book coming soon. I can't announce it, but you know what? I'll probably announce it here first in a month or two. So
Okay.
I never get to announce anything.
OZChris, you can find here. I'm usually here, and I'm also on the Geeky Puppet Show sometimes. I have my hand in things. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye. Allons-Y.